In the top stories, police investigating fatal shooting incident along F.T. Williams Highway. At least 4 dead and 45 injured in traffic accident in Cuba. And Indian Bridge project fails for a second time. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Major Newscast. Today is Tuesday, the 6th of June, 2023. I'm Jason Davis. Nationally, the police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the shooting death of a man that occurred in a vehicle on the F.T. Williams Highway on Tuesday morning. The victim's identity has not been released as yet. In footage obtained by a member of ZIZ's news team, a van with license plate PA6350 can be seen on the F.T. Williams Highway with one occupant slouched over in the vehicle. Police were on the scene and cordoned off a section of the highway. Members of the crime scene unit were then seen collecting evidence in the presence of onlookers. We'll have more information as it becomes available. Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, has commissioned a national security task force to initiate the rollout of a new initiative that approaches crime and violence from a public health perspective. The task force is comprised of the Prime Minister and Minister of National Security and Chairperson, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, Dr. Isbin Williams, and senior management officials from across the government, including the Ministry of National Security, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Social Development, and the Prime Minister's Office. The team is currently developing a comprehensive and scientifically proven action plan to implement and sustain a culture of non-violence within the Federation. Minister of National Security, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, stated, quote, "Societal peace and stability are prerequisites for true social and economic development and for the accomplishment of our progressive, sustainable island state agenda. I strongly believe that what is learned can be unlearned if there is early application of best practice interventions from various sectors. Several programs will be rolled out to target children aged 6 to 12 and adolescents from 13 to 19 years old to help remodel their thinking and behavior by strengthening conflict resolution skills, critical thinking and analytical skills, and boosting their self-esteem. In addition to social interventions, the concept will embrace criminal justice by enhancing law enforcement initiatives and reviewing some of our current laws." In their first in-person meeting since the COVID-19 pandemic, trade ministers from across the Commonwealth are meeting from June 5 to 6 at Marlborough House in London. Their meeting follows closely on the meeting of the senior trade officials that took place from June 3 to 4. The discussions were a follow-up to the virtual meeting held in January this year. The meeting covered topics important to all member states but had particular relevance for developing countries, ZIZ and SVES. They focus on bridging the digital divide and digital infrastructure, climate change, fish subsidies, trade and investment, supporting the multilateral trading system, and inclusive and sustainable trade. Foreign Affairs Minister, the Right Honorable Dr. Denzil Douglas, who also holds the trade portfolio, thanked the Secretary General and congratulated the Commonwealth Secretariat for its technical assistance in trade facilitation and capacity building for St. Kitts and Nevis. He called on the Secretariat and larger countries to support small states in addressing the trade imbalances and in bridging the digital divide as a means of encouraging investment and greater intra-Commonwealth trade. The Trade Minister emphasized the importance for small states to be able to access appropriate levels of finance for development. He further stressed the imperative of adopting an approach that prioritizes the use of a multi-dimensional vulnerability index in any meaningful discourse on trade, especially in light of challenges such as natural disasters, climate change, structural vulnerabilities of small states, and the continued use of GDP per capita as a criterion for assessing a country's eligibility to access concessionary financing. Dr. Douglas is accompanied by High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, His Excellency Dr. Kevin Isaac, and Kevin Atherton, Project Research Officer in the Ministry of International Trade.